Okay, so I'm so excited to shoot this little video. I decided to test my Ancestry DNA earlier this year, and really been looking forward to seeing what the results are saying. I'll start out with my predictions. So just to kind of give you the background, I've always been told basically that my grandmother is British with possibly some Irish somewhere in there, as well as my grandfather is Maltese, and then on my dad's side, Black American from the South, from Mississippi, as well as some Native Indian, I believe, on my father's mother's side. What I'm predicting is that I'm like a mix of a bunch of things that maybe will be a surprise. I feel like there's going to be some surprises in there, but I definitely feel that I'm probably going to be 15 to 20% of each of those things. So 15 to 20% British or Irish, 15 to 20% African. I would really like to see what my ancestry says about the African side and where we came from and how we came into slavery, and ended up in, in Mississippi. I don't know if like the surprises are going to outweigh my biggest percentage, so we shall see what's going to happen with that. Now, full disclosure, I've been working on my family tree as far as my grandmother's side. From Liverpool, England. I kind of traced it. I've been tracing it back and back and back, and like for days now I've been building onto the tree, and I've gotten to the point where I'm back to like the 1700s, which is really cool. But then when you think about it, when DNA comes into play, guaranteed in those 300 years there's gonna be somebody whose father isn't who they said they were or whatnot. So I'm sure that it could take a turn. But as I've been on Ancestry, last night, in the middle of the night, I was kind of on it and then building my tree. And then all of a sudden I see like this graph pop up. And so I went and checked my email. No email from Ancestry. And I'm like, no, this can't be right. I didn't think they would just update it without letting me know, but I guess that's what they do. So I will admit that I did see what my top two were, which kind of took away from the element of surprise. There are going to be definitely a lot of surprises going forward. So I'm logging into my email, even though Ancestry still hasn't sent me an email. Oh, here we go. Now I got it. Your Ancestry DNA results are in. Okay, explore your DNA results. Okay, so far I cannot open this page. Why can't it open it? Really? Why are you failing me right now? Okay, so let me go back and try this a different way. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So let's try this a different way. Keep redirecting me. Technology can be amazing, but also at times can be my worst enemy. Because when it don't work, it's annoying. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm starting to think I'm gonna do this in a different way right about now. This is really exciting, and now I'm starting to get like nervous because it's taking so long for me to be able to open this. So now it's starting, the suspense is starting to build. It's still not working. So you know what? I'm gonna put this on hold. To be continued. Okay, so finally set up here. I'm doing this video in the car, just because that's what's gonna work out for me today. So I'm logging into Ancestry and clicking on explore your ethnicity. I'm going to click on discover your DNA story. Your results are up to date. Your DNA doesn't change, but the science we use to analyze it does. Your results may change over time as the science improves, which I have heard about, so I am prepared for that. Oh wow. Okay, so oh wow, what? I'm so surprised right now. Okay, so we're gonna start at the top. So I'll go through each percentage, and then I'll go more in depth into each one. Benin and Togo, which would be from my dad's side, 17%. So let's see here what it says about that. Though tied closely together by history, geography, and religion, the inhabitants of Benin and Togo are ethnically quite different. It says Benin sits just west of Nigeria, and west of Benin is Togo. Benin has a population of 9.88 million. My second percentage is Ireland and Scotland, which is 16%. That's very close. So I'm like almost the same amount of Ireland, Wales, Scotland as Benin and Togo. And yeah, Wales is included in there. So the next one is Italy, 15%. Now, not completely shocked with that one, but it's a high percentage, 15% Italian. But that includes Malta, and that's where my grandfather's from. So Italy, San Marino, Vatican City, and Malta. So that actually makes complete sense as well. So Italy, 15%. And then the next one is England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe. So that includes England, Scotland, and Wales as well. So I guess probably certain regions of Scotland and Wales, but that's definitely from my grandmother's side, my nanny. And so then the next one, 10% Cameroon, Congo, and Southern Bantu people. It says Angola, Cameroon, Congo, Malawi, Madagascar, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Swaziland, Rwanda, Burundi. So that's 10%, so it's quite a bit as well. So then the next part is Middle East. I was surprised at this, definitely surprised. And it is 9% from the Middle East. It could be like Lebanon, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, or Syria. That's very interesting. I have to kind of trace where that came into play. Mali, 7%, which is Guinea. And then 5% is Ivory Coast, Ghana. So yeah, there's a lot of very small regions in Africa that kind of add up together as well. Wow, very interesting. I always knew I was mixed with a lot of different things, but there's a lot of mixture going on in there. It also makes me very curious to see like what my children would be, because they've got even more of a mix. These are very small percentages. So 2% France, 1% Portugal, and then Senegal, 1%, Spain 1%, Sweden 1%, Northern Africa 1%. And it says additional communities, early North Carolina African Americans. So this goes a little bit more into our African American heritage. It says early North Carolina African Americans, and then Mississippi and Louisiana African Americans, which I definitely know that. My father's from Biloxi, Mississippi. And oh, actually, come to think of it, I just kind of realized something here. I'm actually surprised that there's no native in here. So that would be the biggest surprise. Okay, so this is what the screen looks like. That's showing all the different regions. Okay, so this is like my ethnicity broken down. Oh, look at my DNA matches. And it says I have 519 fourth cousins or closer, which is very cool. So I'm definitely going to be exploring that. Very excited to see who's coming up. I'll definitely be going into depth with this view all DNA matches. I'll probably be like in bed at night building my family tree and looking and like dropping my phone on my face, which I've done building my British family tree over this last little while. But now I really wonder, you know, my grandmother did say that she thought she had a different father than her siblings. So I'm starting to wonder, because when I did my family tree, there was quite a bit of family in Liverpool, quite a bit of family in England for generations, Ireland as well, but Ireland and Scotland's like 16%. Okay, so down here is like the overview, and it shows the timeline. See timeline details. It looks like our ancestors that came to Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama came in the 17 and 1800s. We've been there for a long time, lots of generations. I'm gonna go and look at my DNA matches now. Why not?
I just basically want to see the closest person that I can find. So this person is a first to second cousin, which is cool. Second cousins, third cousins. Okay, so there's only one person right now that's coming up as a first cousin. So let's check out my first cousin here, see what it tells us. He also has a family tree with 48 people, so that could connect me to other people as well. Ancestry lab, what's that? There's an Ancestry Academy. I think I need to go to that. I haven't yet found any of my siblings because my closest was a first cousin. So in the database at this point, none of my siblings are there. There's still a chance that that could happen in the future. But yeah, this is very interesting. I knew there'd be some surprises in there. Was really surprised. Most would be probably the 9% Middle Eastern. But yeah, I'm gonna go deeper into it, see what else I can find.